Hey guys, Drifter here. I just got back from E3 and just finished capturing some Call of Duty World War II War Mode gameplay, which I'm going to be showing off today. All of the gameplay in this video is of War Mode. We're going to be starting off on the Axis side, which is defending, and then the more fun gameplay is definitely going to be in the latter half of the video on the Allied side, where we're attacking. Just a disclosure, Activision did fly me to E3, allow me to capture and put me in a hotel, so got to get that good old FTC stuff out of the way. But today, I want to talk about this mode because it's overall an extremely fun mode, the newest and most innovative idea to come to Call of Duty in a long time, and something of a mix between the Overwatch hybrid payload maps, Battlefield 1 operations, and believe it or not, to some degree, zombies. In short, you take turns playing Axis or Allies on a certain map, so if I started off as Axis, I would play and I would defend and the Allies would push so far, and then I would swap over to the Allies side and I would either have to push further into the objectives into the map to win, or do it faster than the other team did. It's 6v6, no 8v8, no 12v12, no big team battle or anything, and every single map is different. So while we only got to play one today, do keep in mind that the rest of the maps that have War Mode will all have different objectives and in different orders than this, but let me explain what you're going to see today in a couple of different waves. I'll probably talk ahead of the actual gameplay. Phase 1 is attack the Stronghold. The Nazis are held up in a little stronghold. It's a choke point. There's machine guns. It's very easily defendable, and they can build more machine guns to defend it. The Allies have to swarm in, clean them all out, very close quarters combat. It's kind of like capping one hill of domination or breaking one hard point, but the Axis more or less spawns there. The Allies have to flood in, so you kind of have to clear them out. It's a great place for shotguns, submachine guns, lots of grenades, a lot of chaos in this little building, and sometimes you get cheeky with the machine guns. Phase 2 is called Build a Bridge. So after you've done that, the Axis will be pushed back and their spawn will change, kind of like operations in Battlefield 1, you slowly move through. And the Axis can build machine guns in several places around the map, or mount them if you happen to have that particular division with that particular ability. And the Allies can also build mountable machine guns on their side of the map, but they also have to physically get on the bridge and use a toolkit to work the bridge. You kind of hold down your objective button or your interact button, and you work it just like planting a bomb or defusing a bomb, except it takes a very long time. This particular part of the map gets very sniper heavy, very light machine gun heavy, very, very fast. There's a lot of people trying to pick off the builders, pick off the machine gun users. There's a lot of machine gun users. Because of the way the out of bounds and the spawns are, there's not a lot of crossing the bridge. You fight across it, so smoke grenades are essential. I was playing with YouTubers, so it took us all of about 30 seconds to realize that we need to swap to smoke grenade classes, so we try to smoke out the snipers and force them to get closer to the bridge to make the engagements more favorable. This was definitely the hardest part for either team, hardest to defend and hardest to attack. It was just a very hard choke point in general, and probably the weakest or most frustrating part of the entire mode. So much sniping, so much machine gun mashing, everybody fighting over this one little objective, and God bless your soul if you're the guy that's trying to actually build this bridge, because you didn't live very long. We had to sacrifice about 20 people to get this bridge built. But should you be able to build the bridge, you can then walk across it, and it pushes the Axis spawn back, and the next objective is to blow up a supply depot. You blow up their weapons and guns and all of that, and this mode plays a lot like Demolition. The Axis obviously spawns near the point that they're trying to protect, and instead of building machine guns, this time they can build physical barriers, concrete walls. They can make a little maze and kind of cordon you off. Now you can use explosives to blow these barriers up and, you know, go through when you're playing as Allies, and when you're playing as Allies, you have to arm the bomb Demolition style and protect it. It's not search and destroy style. You can respawn and keep coming back, and so can the Axis, and the goal is you arm the bomb and you protect it for quite a long time. It'll blow up and then you can move forward. This was another fairly close quarters combat area, and it reminded me a lot of playing, I think it was Courtyard on Black Ops 2, playing that good old like crazy Demolition mode coming in. Very fun to play, had a lot of enjoyment out of it. And the final mode is going to remind you a lot of Overwatch. It's called Tank Escort. You have to escort this tank all the way to victory. The tank is not a score streak. It's only available in the war modes, and it's on autopilot. You don't drive the tank drives itself. However, the Allies, when they stand near the tank, he moves forward, but when you move away from the tank, he stops and starts getting pushed back. So it operates a lot like the payload from Overwatch, except if the payload were a lot faster. It's not a very slow tank, and you can also get on the mounted machine gun on the tank and really hose people. Now, you're very exposed on the machine gun, so it's very easy to snipe. I actually sniped some people off and got sniped a few times, but you can go on a real tear with this thing if the enemy team doesn't respect you. And again, it moves very quick. It's not the slow payload from Overwatch. If you don't pay attention to it, you can lose very quickly, or if you leave it alone, the Axis can push it back. And this is an incredibly different thing for Call of Duty, because I have teammates taking cover behind the tank, pushing behind the tank, trying to contest it, throwing smokes at it, trying to kill the gunner, sniping around the tank. It's a very different sort of mode, but honestly, it plays really well. It plays fun. It's like a mobile King of the Hill. War mode is clearly the best Call of Duty mode in a long time. I like it more than Uplink. I like it more than Hardpoint. Well, it encompasses parts of Hardpoint, so it works very well for that. And it is extremely OBJ oriented. There are a few sections where killing is the #1 thing, but the majority of it is objective-based play. There are some oddities and some concerns I have with the mode. #1 is that it doesn't have kill streaks, so when you play in this mode, you get no kill streaks whatsoever. I think that's to keep it balanced, and because it's so objectively based, if you wanted to, you could probably camp in the back with the sniper and like rack up some points and then call in a monster streak and kind of ruin the mode. So I understand why, but it definitely does throw off the pace of Call of Duty. A lot of the people playing had concerns about how you're going to track stats in this mode, because if you play the war mode, you are going to die a lot. It's not like playing TDM or free-for-all or Dom where you can really rack up your KDR and just, you know, drive your score through the roof. If you're going to play this mode and you're going to play it right, you're going to die. So they need to take that into consideration when making leaderboards and ranking other people in the war mode, because, well, it's pretty chaotic. And there are some definite concerns with the choke points and the sniper machine gun frustrations and the tank speed. The balance isn't done. It's ready for E3, it's playable, it's balanced enough to be good, but there are definitely some frustrating moments. There are definitely some things that could use a little bit of balance tuning here and there. It's not something that concerns me a whole lot because we are a very long way from launch, and I know Sledgehammer watches YouTube videos and they listen to Reddit and your kind of feedback. So if you guys tell them what you do and don't like about this mode, it's pretty likely to change, and the changes will be pretty straightforward after the devs see people play this weekend at E3. So I feel confident that the frustrations I have with overall balance might change, and I talked to some people, this is somewhat different at EA Star Wars and some of the other events. At E3 and public-facing demos, they kind of do odd things to the balance and kind of rig it in favor of the attackers so that we get to go through all 3 phases so that the game just doesn't end with one team camped in their spawn if it's unbalanced. So it could be like that. It could be intentionally unbalanced just so that we get to see everything. And I would absolutely love for this to be an official esport mode, if properly balanced, of course. So I want you guys to imagine this. Imagine every single map in esports is war mode, which encompasses a number of objectives. It's the same thing every time, and it allows for a nice, good flow, definite winning and losing and timing and how far you push the tank and stuff like that. It would work a lot like the hybrid maps for Overwatch, which does quite well as an esport. I think this would also eliminate some of the stress of the pro players. When they get the game, they try to see which maps are competitive, which maps aren't competitive, which maps are good on these 4 or 5 modes that we're going to play, exactly how this pans out. I think that adding war to this, at least maybe if we had war as the main mode, would be awesome, because that would just be the default mode for Call of Duty. People would know what they're getting, and if you say it would kill variety, maybe, but people still watch Counter-Strike, and that's been the same thing since 1996. It could be very, very good, but it definitely needs to be balanced around competitive. It's not balanced. If it doesn't work for competitive, then it just plain doesn't work, but it is something I would like to see. Guys, that is all of my talking for this video. I've got a few minutes left, so I'm going to go ahead and let the entire amount of footage that I'm allowed to show you from the embargo run so that you can see more of the war mode without my commentary and make up your own mind. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.
Build a bridge so we can advance. Bridge in progress. objective. Eliminate that ammo supply, now! Supply. Keep the Krauts away from our bomb. Protect our bomb at all costs. Don't let them defuse our bomb. 2 minutes until enemy reinforcements arrive. We did it! The Krauts ammo supply is destroyed. Protect our tank so we can get within range of the main battery. Then we'll destroy the Kraut 88s. Nobody's here to escort us. We're retreating. We're retreating. There's no one here to escort us. We're on the move. Escort this tank so it can destroy the 88s. Got one! But the main battery's by the church. We're on the move! Nobody's here to escort us. We're retreating. Escort us to the AA guns. We're falling back. No one's nearby to escort us. Nailed it! We're retreating. There's no one here to escort us. We're advancing! Protect us! That's it! We're advancing! 2 minutes until enemy reinforcements arrive! Cover me! Get back in the battle! We're on the move! Good! Keep advancing to the church! Covering fire! We're advancing! Protect us! Alright, let's get to the church! He's moving! Nobody's here to escort us. We're retreating. Move! Kraut reinforcements are almost here. Throwing breach grenades! We're advancing. We got him in! We're on the move! Retreating. There's no one here to escort us. 1 minute until enemy reinforcements. We're advancing. Protect us. Get another bandolier. Destroy the Kraut AA guns. Now our bombers can hit their targets.